What's up, YVNGB? You already know what time it is, man. We back again with another freaking video. You know we got to do a reaction video to Air Force Boot Camp. Hey, man, drop that intro. Alright, y'all, we about to go ahead and get into this freaking video, and we about to react to the Air Force Boot Camp on Business Insider. They got 2 videos, but we're not reacting to the 5th week or Beast Week. One, we're going to react to the one where they're talking about boot camp as a whole. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. We're going to make sure I'm recording. And let's get it started. Not Beast Week, correct? Yeah, it's not.
Is Air Force
exactly how they talk to us when we at lunch.
Before they join the United States Air Force or Space Force, all trainees must graduate from the Air Force's 7.5-week basic military training program, known as BMT.
Our mission is to motivate, train, and inspire the next generation of airmen to deliver 21st century airmen.
Training happens here at Lackland Air Force Base, located just 10 miles outside of downtown San Antonio, Texas. On a sweltering week in August, insiders spent 4 days.
Hey, just to speak on that, do y'all know how it feels to look out the window when it's at night and see the skyline of San Antonio? It felt like we was in jail. We was just looking at that little tiny crack, and it looked like we was just struggling, and it felt like we was in jail while everybody out there was just living their life. The worst time, but it was funny. But let's keep going.
Observing different squadrons at various stages of training.
Whenever I said I was going Air Force, everyone was like, oh, the Chair Force, like basic's gonna be nothing. And I was sitting there thinking, man, I should have went another route. This is gonna be way too easy.
You're wearing your failure all over your face.
And I could not have been more wrong.
On day 1, new trainees arrive on a bus from the San Antonio airport.
Some of these kids come here never having left home, no job experience, but not long after they leave here, they're going to be given a job and a task and expected to perform that task with no supervision.
There, hold your bags, nothing falls out. That's all that's coming.
About 35,000 trainees graduate from BMT each year.
The average age of a basic trainee here at BMT is 20.6 years old. What that means is they don't remember a time when our nation wasn't at war, but they raised their hand anyway, and they said they want to serve.
All trainees are sorted into smaller groups known as flights. Although training squadrons are composed of both male and female trainees, the flights are divided by gender. During 0 week, male trainees receive haircuts. Female trainees must wear their hair in a bun, a ponytail, or up to 2 braids.
Right away, the Air Force wants to get a little muscle on those pretty arms.
Females were first allowed to join the Air Force in limited roles in 1948. And in 1976, began being accepted on an equal basis with males. Today, 20% of the Air Force's active duty service members are female, along with about 25% of all trainees at BMT. Trainees learn how to line up and march in formation from their military training instructor, or MTI.
Jeez Louise, wake up, got on there.
Easier said than done.
Wake up.
There you go, leave it all on the track.
Mornings at BMT begin at 0600 with physical training.
5 seconds. Come on, man, keep going.
All right, you're done.
All trainees must pass a physical fitness test during the 5th week of their training, which consists of 1 minute each of push-ups and sit-ups. as well as a timed 1.5-mile run.
Good job, keep going, gentlemen. They kind of flip a switch during PT from MTI to personal training. Good job, good run. Like they come in and they really encourage you. If you're struggling, they'll tell you like, hurry up, let's get this done, and they'll do it with you. There you go, burn through this last one. There you go.
After morning PT, it's time for breakfast, known as chow. But meals aren't a time for relaxation.
Sir, flight 727, dormitory Alpha 1 is prepared to enter the dining facility from the west side.
It's the responsibility of the chow runner to announce their flight's arrival to the dining facility.
Hey, if y'all go watch my last video, I told y'all I was chow runner. This is exactly what I had to do. Y'all probably gonna see somebody getting grilled because they didn't do their job right.
Prepare to enter the dining facility from the east side. Bring him in and see him. Bring him in and see them. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You gotta do the right amount of steps, the right drill movements. You gotta say the right words, or you're gonna get screamed at.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Chow runners who don't follow procedures correctly may face the wrath of the snake pit, the area where MTIs sit during meals.
You look, stepped out in traffic, and almost got ran over. Because it was not your turn. There's no explanation for it. Back off.
Really, it's an important job because you represent your flight. They put people in there who got confidence issues, to build their confidence.
So you're forgetting to do so is what got you. Stop talking when I'm talking!
You gotta really be stable to be able to remember everything and then be in that
listen
fire and perform well. After doing it a few times, it get easier.
Attention to detail is a critical aspect of BMT, and it starts in the dormitory. Trainees are expected to keep their living areas and uniforms in pristine condition, and both are inspected regularly by their MTIs.
There's a plethora of things that they have to make sure are perfect down to the T, and if they aren't, we're going to let them know that this does not meet the standard. They're going to be expected to correct it.
I hated that, bro. I hated clipping strings. Strings will pop up out of nowhere. Lint will pop up out of nowhere. You could literally lint roll your entire wall locker and the lint will still pop up somehow. You literally could lint roll your entire wall locker, everything you got in there, all the uniforms, everything. And you could say, sir, I'm prepared for inspection. Open that wall locker, they'll pull everything out, look at it, and you'll automatically get a demerit. You'll be like, where did I get a demerit on? Because there's a piece of freaking lint on your stuff. Automatic freaking fail item on all of that. So now you got a failed item and now that whole area is disqualified. It's honestly the worst.
During 0 week, each trainee is assigned a rifle, which they learn to care for.
My heels are pretty much trying to touch the ground, and I'm facing downrange.
35% of BMT is classroom instruction.
Right now, what you're gonna do?
It's more so like 45. Now, I ain't gonna say 35. It's more so 45.
Is go to the high kneeling position.
Trainees learn the basics of how to hold their rifles in a variety of different shooting positions.
Because we're an expeditionary force, an airman can find themselves in any location around the world, really at a moment's notice. So we have to maintain our qualifications and our service weapon.
Nowhere is attention to detail more apparent than in drill practice.
Get your dress.
Drill is a lot of precision and discipline incorporated into certain movements in a formation. We'll say during the first couple weeks of training, they're drinking from a fire hose. The drill is much more difficult for them because they're having an overload of information being given to them.
Left part, left, right, left.
Typically after the second or third week of training is when it all starts to make a little bit of sense, and around that time is when it looks a lot better.
All right, it look like a good place to stop. We're gonna have a part 1 and a part 2. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like, and comment on this video so that way we get that part 2. And y'all gotta also turn on y'all post notifications so that way y'all can know when I drop part 2. It'll probably be tomorrow. or Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday, because I got to do 2 videos today. But without further ado, you already know what's coming up next. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, and turn on those post notifications. We're trying to get this channel to 500 subscribers by the end of the month. Make sure y'all follow. Peace.